Good morning. Um, I'm out here taking a walk. I'm a little bit thirsty and I forgot my water. And so hopefully I don't choke in this video. but oh, it was a squirrel. I wanted to talk about why I left religion. And for it to be known that I don't actually adhere to or practice any particular religion at all. So I was raised as a Christian. From the age of 7 on, I stopped going to church. I think I was like 21 or 22. So it's been like 12 years since I've been to church. Like legit, any church. That's a long time. I was always this kind of spiritual person, even prior to going to church. Like, always knew that I knew things that other people didn't. I knew that I had like some sort of extra sensory abilities. I was always sensitive. I was about to say I always got on my mom's nerve with that extra sensory stuff, like feeling what other people were feeling. So initially, I think that I took to church a lot because it was taught to me. And my absolute favorite thing about church when I was a kid was hugs. You know, because I didn't get affection at home. So it was like, when I go to church, you can just walk up to anybody and everybody's going to hug you because it's church, right? Or at least back then, people did that. It was a thing. When you came in to greet, everyone's hugging people. And not only that, like, I saw the nicer side of my mom at church, and she often assisted and or ran children's church or Sunday school, and it was just pleasant. So I think that's why I took to church so much. I might write about that later. I might record a video about that later, about maybe more details. But anyway, what happened to me later on is that as I dug deeper into it, I noticed that other people had these experiences at church, of catching the Holy Spirit, of shouting, of like being slain in the spirit, like falling out, speaking tongues. I noticed that it didn't end at church with me. I noticed that it was continuing and going on, and that I had other abilities as well. And I remember way back when I had an online friend who told me that it was the only person I was really like allowed to talk to. I was all the time in this AOL chat room. And he told me that I was a Christian witch. And I was just like, that's evil. I was like, no way, I'm not a witch. And I always thought it was so weird. And he's like, well, basically what you're describing to me is like astral projection. And he's like, I do that too. So you're a witch like me. And he's like, you ever try moving things with your mind? You ever think things and then they happen? Aren't you able to read people's thoughts? Don't you know what other people are feeling? And I was like, yeah, but I've always been like that, so what? And he's like, because you're a witch. And I was just like, no, I'm not. I was in such a disbelief, and I kept getting stronger and stronger and projecting more and more. And I remember one time, one of my aunts, she was living with us for a time period, and so she was real big. So she took my bed, and I had to sleep on the floor, and we both couldn't fit on the bed, so whatever. And one day she like grabbed me and shook the crap out of me because she was like, you better not do that shit again. And I was like, do what? And she was like, I was laying here last night minding my business, and she's like, I looked down at the floor, and you sat up out of your body, got up, and walked out the door. And she's like, I've been praying because I thought you was dead, but I was too scared to check your body. She's like, I've been praying that you just hurry up and come back for like 2 hours. And she was like, where were you at? And what would you, don't do that shit again. It was so funny. But I was just like, sorry. But I had very little awareness about it. I had very little awareness about what it was that I was doing as a child. And so, I mean, as a teenager, it was just like I knew I was supposed to do it, and I didn't think twice about it. Even if people called me a witch, I didn't think twice about it. I still don't think twice about it. Honestly, I think it's normal. I just think that everybody hasn't tapped into it or awakened to it. Like, you grow up in a world that pushes it away instead of cultivates it, if that makes sense. But the reason I separated later was because it was like all of a sudden I was experiencing, I went away to college for a year, and I felt like things were weird. Maybe because I started studying the Bible like a whole lot more and digging into my spirituality, digging into praying, like meditating. Prayer is in meditations. I think that because of all of that it was like changing me, and I expected more when I went to church that I wasn't getting. And on the exact opposite, I kind of started to feel how Jesus felt. Like, I started to find it quite repulsive that people were making sales in church, that people were not doing things unless you paid them. I grew up in a church that was very charitable in the sense that we had clothes drives and food drives, and we used to go out and clean the elderly's homes, take out their trash, cut their grass. We used to take food around the community, different things like that, and children were never excluded from that. It was both. Like, if you were a member, you were expected to do these things. And I, like, as far as wide as I can look, it's like these things aren't happening. And it's not that people don't have the finances to. They do. They just choose not to. They choose not to give of their time and give of themselves. Like, in other words, I associate Christianity with charity, with kind-heartedness, you know what I mean? With understanding and alleviating suffering of the people, at least within your community, as much as possible. You have people who are ready to, go abroad and evangelize, as they call it, and convert people to Christianity, but within your own community, you don't feed a soul. You don't feed anyone that's hungry. You don't, you know what I mean? Like, you don't provide clothing or shelter. And also, the thing that makes zero sense to me is why churches are just empty, like, all week, not doing anything for anyone. Like, there shouldn't be homeless. But anyway, let me get back on track. I started to feel that basically people, I used to hear a certain pastor of my mom say, what God are you serving? And this is that and the other. And it occurred to me that these people could not possibly be serving the same God, right? And so I branched off, and I would have to say, like, and I mean completely, like, I kind of lost faith in God altogether after some other issues happened. And then it was like I wanted to study, and so I studied Christianity, I studied Islam, I studied with the Hebrew Israelites, which I really took to, and I was rejected. And yeah, I've studied a bit of Hindu, and what I learned about all these religions is that love is all that matters. And I know people believe that there's one God, but I feel like we are extensions of this great spirit. That's kind of how I see it. We're extensions, and we're living human lives. And the feat of humanity is to see the deity, the divine, the great spirit inside of all of us, whether we're like, regardless of our background, regardless of our race, regardless of our acts and our deeds, whether we're alcoholics or criminals or drug addicts, or whether we're business women and men, right? Whether we're wealthy, whether we're poor, we're all extensions having these experiences. And that's because I had other experiences that led me to that too. But right now, I guess, as far as religion and spirituality go, I guess I kind of make my own path in my own way, because I do believe that humans are naturally moral. I do believe that humans are naturally good. I think that we simply get corrupted like a computer file, and some people don't correct that corruption. That's the way I view it. I am a polytheist as well, and I might go into that in another video, just so this one won't be that long. But there's a reason why I'm a polytheist, and I just believe in doing for humanity. I can't, like, doing for one another. I believe in community. I believe in brotherhood and sisterhood. I believe in family. I believe in cultural values, and I believe that human beings should learn to have respect for each other and not try to convert it, not try to change another person so much as just accept them and love them. That's what I believe. But anyway, if you like this video, hit the like button and please comment and let me know your thoughts. And if you have questions as well, or comments, I'd like to hear about it. And subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you.